So I had this flight going, actually, it's coming from London back to Dubai. And the crew, at the time I was already a purser or the lead flight attendant. I was at the door, the interphone rang, and then I have this crew telling me, Orchids, I have two customers, two passengers here who refuse to sit next to this lady because she stinks. So I was like, okay, guys, we're almost finished boarding. I think you can sort that out. And the flight was full. So there's no way that, we can offer the two other passengers or the other passenger with extra seat because the flight was chock-a-block. So I said, no, they really refuse to sit down. So I'm like, okay, I don't have time, discussing this over the phone. I'm like, okay, fine, I'm gonna go there. So I went. This lady was seated all the way to the back of economy, and 5 rows before I reached the seat of the lady was actually seated on the window seat. I can already smell it.
Oh my God.
So I know that's how strong it was. So that's why the 2 other passengers refused to sit next to her. So, but I can see the lady, you can see from her body language, from her face, that there is something wrong.
Before we dive into this treasure of wisdom, a treasure trove of wisdom, here's a little something from the heart. Every subscription, every like, every share means the world to us. It's not about numbers, it's about incredible community we're building together. So if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and drop a like and share with your friends. We are taking off for a high flight adventure today. Ever dreamed of swapping your office chair for a comfy airplane seat and serving drinks at 30,000 feet? Joining me on this flight, incredible Orchids Roy-Campbell, a veteran of the skies with a passion of helping others taking flight too. So Orchids, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Daniel, and thank you so much for that lovely introduction. And good morning to everyone watching and listening to your channel.
Thank you. All right, let's get started. Orchids.
Yes.
Who are you? Who are you and why you are obsessed with all these things about aviation?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. So if you'd ask me, who is Orchids? I am someone who's adventurous, very curious, very inquisitive. I love learning cultures, and I love food. I love to eat. I think that would sum up my curiosity and love for travel, because every culture offers a fantastic meal or dish that they're so proud of. So I realized that when I started traveling the world, and I realized, oh wow, every culture has something special and unique that as part of your icebreaker, it's a lovely way to break the ice, to converse with someone. When you want to get to know a particular culture, talking about food is the best way to start. So yeah, that is me.
Okay, now your resume, when you talk about yourself, it's full of travel love. Cabin crew, purser, trainer, you've seen it all. Let's talk about what sparked you, or what sparked your wanderlust, and how you ended up soaring with the airlines.
Yeah. So I will have to take you back all the way, I think in the 80s. Growing up, I only see my dad once a year because he worked for a cargo ship. Every time he comes home, he would share stories with me, places that he's seen, people that he met. And that really started my curiosity, really sparked that curiosity in me, that when I grow up, I wanted to experience and see the places that my dad have seen. I remember vividly that on my 8th birthday, my dad gave me a globe as a birthday present. And like um what's this physically, like I'm there like looking around the globe, and then my dad would point out all the places and where their ship has traveled. So that even sparked more curiosity, and really that ambition of seeing the world has intensified at a very young age. So yeah, moving forward, I took, went to university, finished studies, and then I started working. But the dream of seeing the world kept popping up in
Mm,
my mind.
yeah, I can
And
see that.
back in 2007, actually, someone approached me. I used to work for a pharmaceutical company as a sales rep. And someone sat next to me and said, "Hey, you know what? In Dubai, they're looking for sales rep. We should apply." And I was looking at her like, "I don't even know you. You might be a scammer." But I see her all the time in the hospital where I visit. And she was consistently reminding me, "Hey, the interview is tomorrow. We should go. We should go." So again, that dream, I was like, "Oh, Dubai. That's
Mm.
where the headquarters of Emirates Airline is." So that's why, okay, maybe I should give it a go, because at that time I was like, you know what? I'm 27 years old. Oh no, at that time I was 26. And I said, I should give it a go, because I don't want to live my life with regrets. And I don't want, stand later on when I get old. I was like, what if I took that opportunity to go to Dubai? What could have been my life, you know,
Mm.
look like? So yeah, I went to the interview and we both got accepted. 1 month later, boom, we were here in Dubai. I can still remember I landed in Abu Dhabi Airport on February 7, 2007 at 5 p.m. Can you
Oh.
imagine? Still very clear. Yeah, so that's it. So I worked for a year and a half of a pharmaceutical rep. And then again, that dream of seeing the world was still very strong inside me. My dream was still, very clear that this is really what I wanted to do and experience. So I applied here at the Emirates headquarters. And that's when my journey as a flight attendant started.
Wow, that's amazing. So
Thank you.
let's picture this. You're watching Money Talks now, totally inspired by Orchid's story, and you know, deep down, you were meant to be a cabin crew, traveling the world, especially Middle East airlines and Emirates Airlines. What are the secret ingredients that make someone stand out from the big crowd, the huge crowd during the application process?
Yeah. So we're looking for the trait or the secret sauce, the secret
Yeah.
ingredient, why you could be an ideal cabin crew member for whether it's Emirates or other Middle Eastern airline. Well, I would say number one would be your personality,
Mm,
because a recruiter can feel it from the beginning, from the get-go, the moment you enter the assessment venue. Normally, they do it outside of Dubai. They normally do it in a hotel meeting rooms, or, like conference room. So the moment you enter, the recruiter can actually see how passionate you are. Are you faking it? Were you really genuine when you're smiling?
mm,
They can see the passion. So I think personality, your demeanor, your personality is really, really very important. Um, as well, of course, you
oh,
should be, you also meet the criteria of being a cabin crew. So what are those criteria? So you have the height.
mm,
Yeah, they have a requirement for height. Um, you must be a high school graduate. That's the minimum.
mhm.
And at least you have experience in hospitality industry for a year. That was the minimum. Yeah.
And what about
So
languages?
languages, you must be fluent in written and spoken English.
Mhm.
And if you speak a second language and third language, that would be an advantage for you.
Beautiful.
So yeah. So yeah, for me, definitely personality, your soft skills would should really shine during the open day. They call it open day or assessment day, because the rest of the skills, like the hard skills, how to serve the customer, how to, prepare your cart, these are all trainable. You will go to training college, you will be trained for 2 months before you actually have your first flight as a flight attendant.
Boom.
Yeah.
These were like golden nuggets. Okay. So the application is in. Finger crossed. Now comes the interview. And those
Yes.
sometimes tricky skill tests, Any battle tested tips for aspiring cabin crew to conquer for these challenges?
Yeah, definitely. There are a lot of applicants who have applied multiple times. And to be honest with you, Daniel, I actually applied 5 times
Wow.
with Emirates before I got accepted. I really pursued, First, first time that I tried, I hardly spoke in the assessment. I was observing. Of course, I got eliminated because I didn't say anything. It's like, oh, and then second, so it was like a personal
Learning.
discovery for me, learning.
Yeah.
How does this assessment, why is it so popular? Why the queue outside is so long? I remember when I applied in 2008 in Emirates headquarters. On that day, there were around 5,000 who showed up. So it was like a concert. I can vividly remember people are pushing to go inside the headquarters just to submit their CV.
Wow.
Yeah, because they call it open day. So this is what is happening around the world. When you see on the Emirates career website, and they will say open day in Barcelona on May 18th. So that means you don't need to submit your CV online or your application. You just show up to that address in full business suit with your makeup on and bring your CV and your passport photo. So basically, this is your time to shine, wishing and hoping that the recruiter will select you. But then again, going back to what I said earlier, you should have all these eligibility criteria. Yeah, the basic one, like your height, have you graduated high school? Have you finished high school? Is your English good? Can I understand you when you're speaking?
What about the skill set that I need to conquer before going into the interview?
The skills. Okay. So the skills, you should be very good with, with your social skills, interpersonal skills, because this is the requirement, like hospitality experience, like in customer service. So for them to require you 1 year, at least you have a basic knowledge of how to interact with a customer, how to speak to the customer. They actually don't want you to be very, very well experienced. They want you to mold, the company wants to mold you based on their values. Yeah, values. So that's why it's better if they hire someone who haven't flown before, because your brain, your skills is not so advanced, and then they can train you, they can mold you into how they want you to follow according to the company standard. Yeah.
Okay.
So going back to your question for skills, again, interpersonal skills, your social skills, because this is something that it's within you, right? Like how you were raised, brought up by your parents, and also culturally. So some cultures they're known to be shy. Like for example, I'm Filipino. So in our culture, we are very known to be shy. Oh, Filipinos, you guys are very shy. Like you're very timid, and we're scared to actually share our feedback. Where if we're not happy with a particular customer service, actually this is general in Asia, especially in Japan, where they want to save their face. They will not complain in front of you, but they will write their feedback or complaint online.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I think because
Really?
they want to save face and they don't want to upset you. So again, yeah, like it's based on culture, but they want cabin crew to be, know how to talk to a passenger, have a beautiful smile, and can be trained, trainable.
Sure. So the cabin crew world is full of diversity, and that's awesome. So in your experience, who are the main groups applying for these roles? What drives them to take the skies?
Yes, so good question, because the reason why I really like about Middle Eastern Airlines is that they are open to all nationalities.
Mm.
Yeah, everyone is welcome. Unlike if you see, for example, Singapore Airlines, they only hire Singaporeans, right? And then other airlines in, let's say, Cathay Pacific in Hong Kong, they
Mhm.
also hire. Now, if you're from Hong Kong, so this is great for anyone aspiring to become a cabin crew to come to the Middle East and apply to these leading airlines. Now, the majority of group or demographic, as you say, or generation that is applying for this role are the Gen Z.
Mm.
Um, because again, a lot of airline, they want someone, who's fresh and young and who can actually sustain this lifestyle, because this job is not just physically stressful, but also mentally. You will be waking up at different times of the day. You might have a flight. Um, let's say, for example, 2 days ago, I had a flight at 2 a.m. 2 days later, I have a flight at 7 p.m. So you're
Mm.
basically waking up at different times of the day. You might fly in Australia, last week, and then this week you're going to Europe, and then 2 weeks
Yeah,
later you're going to
yeah.
US.
Mhm.
So yeah, so they need someone who's young, who can recover quickly, and so that's why it's very attractive for Gen Z. And as well, because of social media, where, well, majority of this generation would go to, they see everything on social media in different platforms of the places. So they dream this, even, ever since they were in high school, probably. They say, oh, I want to go there. Because a lot of people, all these influencers are going like, hey, I woke up in New York, and the next day I'm in Sydney. And, so this information, when I was growing up, I did not have that. To know about a certain country, I have to read books. I have to go to
Mhm.
the library. But now with social media and internet, I can easily see like, oh, so this is how Bali looks like. Or for
Mm.
example, Machu Picchu, where is that? Oh, in South America. Oh, wow, this is beautiful. I want to go there too. And
Mm.
now with the prices of airline, you have a lot of option. There's a lot of low cost airline, wherein in the 80s, there's not a lot of choices. So now you see a lot of these Gen Z who are dreaming or aspiring to become a flight attendant because of the opportunity to travel the world,
Mm.
as well the flexibility. Yeah, the flexibility that they don't have to go to the office from 9
Mm.
to 5,
Sure.
and also the opportunity to work with different people from different parts of the world. Because imagine if you work in the office, say for example, I'm back in the Philippines, most likely all of my colleagues in the office are all Filipinos, right? So yeah, like now the Gen Z, they want to, get to know, engage with different people from different cultures. So this job is actually perfect for them.
Okay.
And the opportunity as well to get promoted and, open different avenues for them later on if they're still not decided what they want to be later on in their career. So this is like a good break for them to sit back and reflect. All right, while I'm thinking what I really want to do in 5 years, let me do this job for one contract or two contracts, and then kalas, I'll go.
Cool. Now we covered the bright side of the dream of travelers and going around the world, being an influencer, visiting many places around the globe. But I know there is something also in the dark side, let's say. You face different people from different cultures, different backgrounds, different moods. So there will be
Absolutely.
funny stories, right? So I know you have so many, but let's say, do you have one story that really triggered and you don't forget that moment when there was a, for example, a tough customer traveler, or what 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 was the skill or the thing that helped you get out of this situation? Because you are the
Yeah,
face front of the whole airline in front of this, let's say, unsatisfied customer or unhappy customer.
absolutely. Yes. As you said, I have a lot of story, but this one story, up until now, I still share it with my learners or to anyone, who would ask me what the memorable story that I have encountered. So I had this flight going, actually, it's coming from London back to Dubai. And the crew, at the time I was already a purser or the lead flight attendant. I was at the door, the interphone rang, and then I have this crew telling me, Orchids, I have two passengers here who refuse to sit next to this lady because she stinks. So I was like, okay, guys, we're almost finished boarding. I think you can sort that out. And the flight was full. So there's no way that, we can offer the two other passengers or the other passenger with extra
Another,
seat because the
another
flight
passenger.
was chock-a-block. So I said, no, no, no. They really refused to sit down. So I'm like, okay, I don't have time, discussing this over the phone. I'm like, okay, fine, I'm gonna go there. So I went. This lady was seated all the way to the back of economy. And 5 rows before I reached the seat of the lady was actually seated on the window seat. I can already smell it.
Oh my
So I know
goodness.
that's how strong it was. So that's why the two other passengers refused to sit next to her. So, but I can see the lady, you can see from her body language, from her face, that there is something wrong, right?
Oh,
So I asked the lady, I said, ma'am, may I have a moment with you, please? So I took her to the side and then I said to her, is everything okay? Are you traveling with someone or you're traveling alone? And she started crying. Okay. And then she started sharing with me that actually she haven't taken a shower for 2 weeks
oh,
because she's going back to her home country because a family member died in a tragic accident. So she was really, really depressed. That's the reason, she haven't taken a shower. And she said she haven't been home to her home country for 10 years. And this is the first time she's going back. And then a family member that is very close to her have died in a tragic accident. So, like these stories, like I feel so bad. Like, like people automatically judge. Everyone thinks that all passenger travel for fun, for holiday, where in fact, some passengers actually they travel, maybe they lost their job here in Dubai or
mhm.
somewhere else in the Middle East. They're going back. So maybe that's the reason why they're so upset. They're so rude to the crew because deep inside something is bothering them. Yeah. Some passengers actually travel where a dead body of their family member is traveling with them in the cargo. The coffin is there.
Oh,
We have that. So, like we cannot assume that everyone on the flight is traveling for fun. Yeah. There are people out there where you have to empathize. You have to go to the root cause. Like, why is he or she behaving like that? What is the root cause? So, thankfully, this lady was, she opened up to me what was the reason. So I immediately arranged for her to get, like, because I asked her, do you have something to change? She said no. Basically, she's not really in her, right mind. So I organized a set of pajama. We actually have a pajama in
First
first
class.
class. And then, yeah, and then I asked the crew to prepare hot towels for her so she can freshen up and then
Ah,
change her clothing to our, onboard pajama.
wow.
And then, yeah, so, and also I had a meeting with my staff. Okay, this is what's happening with this lady. Please make sure you look after her.
Mm, mhm.
Yeah, because, yeah, she's not really in a
Really?
good place at the moment. So, yeah, that's the story that I want to share. See, I even get teary-eyed every time I remember.
Wow. It's like when you know the reason, it's like, yeah, now I understand. And you also know how to deal with it. It's like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
2 weeks, it's a strong reason for her to not to have a shower,
Yeah,
even
yeah.
disconnect.
Mm,
It's
yeah.
really tough for you as an attendant to satisfy others, but she's suffering.
Yeah. My friend even have an experience where she messaged me because that particular passenger was on her flight from Birmingham to Dubai, and then this passenger will continue on Dubai to Karachi, and then this passenger wanted to die, so
Oh,
he's banging his head on the TV screen and even attempted to open the door because he wants to jump
oh,
because his daughter passed away. His daughter in Karachi was, yeah,
oh my
murdered.
goodness.
So he went crazy, like he also wants to die. So my friend messaged me like, "Hey Orchids, I know you have a flight later to Karachi, just to let you know that there's this passenger, who's unstable, and don't worry, everything is okay now. I think they've given him medication to calm down."
Wow, wow.
Mhm.
Let's go into cheerful stories.
I know. Listen to, yeah, it doesn't happen all the time, by the way, Danielle, but it's good for people to know that sometimes these things happen. It's not only medical emergencies that happen, like you have people who had heart attack, for example, or seizure, or
Mhm.
childbirth, right? So
Yes.
Manila flight is actually popular with childbirth. Just an
Mm.
FYI for you.
Okay,
Yeah.
what's the one key takeaway you want our audience, to remember when they consider being
Um,
a cabin crew, of course?
yes. So the one thing that I can share with your audience is that this job, this role, cabin crew role, is a very, very rewarding job. I always tell my learners who are, the newly recruited cabin crew, that when we put our uniform, it's like putting our superhero costume, because we have so many roles to perform when we are in that uniform. We are the firefighter. We can be your police officer in case there's a disruptive passenger.
Oh,
We can tame that customer down, and we can be your onboard nanny to help you with your kids. Come down in case you're traveling alone with 3 kids and a baby. We can help you that, and yeah, to make sure you are safe and comfortable, and most importantly, have a memorable flight experience. So we have different roles to perform once we are in that uniform. And it's so rewarding. And you get to meet not just, people from different parts of the world. You actually work with people like your colleagues, your fellow cabin crew from different parts of the world as well. So you get to know their culture in a deeper level. And that's what I like about this job, because you're continuously growing. And if you're someone who loves interacting with people, this is the perfect job for you. So I think that's the reason why I love this job so much,
mhm.
because it gave me so much knowledge, information. I developed so much of my skills, and it led me to who I am right now. I
Yeah.
became an etiquette coach, a licensed etiquette coach, where I shared my knowledge, my experiences, not just to adult, but now to children.
Beautiful. So inspiring indeed.
Thank you.
I still have this like let's say I am considering this idea and I love to travel the world and I'm watching this interview and feeling stuck, hesitant about should I apply, should I go for it or not? What will be the one factor? Of course, everything like is 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 happy, is shining. Like I'm traveling the world, I'm meeting new people, and no 9 to 5, well paid, exposed to multiple cultures. Everything is shiny, you know. What's the let's say the challenging thing that I have to consider? I should pay attention to that it's there in my skill set. For example, uh, when to act as this is personal or this is not personal. Like when people engage with me as a cabin crew, now he's like crossing the board, crossing the line or not. Like, you know, some people are shy. Some people just
Yeah.
like very open and social that they might get misunderstood, you know?
Mhm.
So this is an example, just like what do I have to consider that I might be confronted with if I apply for as a cabin crew. I have to
Yeah.
consider that I should be strong at this point.
Yes. So one thing that I always advise someone who's aspiring to become a cabin crew is to research first about the company that they're going to apply. That's step number one. Research, check what is the values of this company that I'm joining. And then reflect that if that is something that you accept, if it aligns with your values as well. Because a lot of applicants, when they get successful, like, yes, I get accepted with, for example, Emirates airline, they arrived, well, they were trained. After 3 months or 4 months, they resign because the job is not for them. They did not enjoy it. They didn't realize it's quite challenging waking up at different times of the day, and then you don't get to go home for 6 months, see your parents. You're basically on your own. Your batchmate who you have trained for 2 months, you won't fly with them. You will not see them because you'll be flying with different people. So you are on your own. On your days off, you call your friend. Oh no, she's not here. She's in Paris. She has a flight. So you're definitely on your own. I think one of the reasons why some cabin crew doesn't last is, number one is homesickness and feeling of loneliness of this job. Yes, you are seeing the world, you're enjoying the job, you know,
It
the
has a
perks
cost.
and everything. Yes, but then again, there is um, a touch of loneliness there. There's an aspect of the job where you're on your own and you have to be very strong. So for an applicant, for someone who's dreaming of this job, research about the company, research about the role. Is this something that, you know, how you see yourself? Yeah.
Okay,
And of
I have
course,
to stop
you
you
have to be
here
social. Yeah,
because we
sure.
have 3 minutes left and
Oh, okay,
we need
yes.
to wrap up very, very, very short. And
Okay.
what's the last message and how people can connect to you if we can do it in 1 minute?
Okay. So for anyone who wants to get to know me more on what I do, there's a link here that I share, the QR code, where you can go to my website, Etiquette for Everyone. So that's number 4, etiquetteforeveryone.com. Or you can also follow me on Instagram, my personal Instagram, Orchids_Roy, or my company Instagram, Etiquette for Everyone. If you need help, if you need tips on what to do for your big assessment day for any Middle Eastern airline, you can also book a 30-minute discovery call on my website to see if this role is for you and how I can help you to make sure that you will ace that cabin crew interview.
Nice. So there you go. There you have it. Monday Talks family. A huge thank you again to Orchids Roy-Campbell. for sharing expertise and reminding us that all that our sky truly is the limit. Sky is the truly maximum limit. If you're ready to swap your commute for a first-class adventure, be sure to check the resources, the link Orchids mentioned, and connect with her directly. We will have the links in the description below. So to all our viewers, remember to follow, like, subscribe Monday Talks for more insightful and conversation like this. Until next week, keep chasing those dreams and reaching for the stars, or maybe just complimentary beverage at cruising altitude. Thank you very much, your kids.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Bye.